Abby Lavens, the PR director here at the Van Wezel, and I am so excited to be joined by Stephen Mark Lucas from the Funny Girl cast. Stephen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. We're excited to be in Sarasota very soon.
We are very excited to have you here because it will be our first Broadway show of the season after we've
Mm.
come out of Hurricane Milton. We had to cancel our shows for the past couple of months, so we are thrilled that you guys will be here and one of the first shows we have back.
Yeah, we're so excited about it. It's a beautiful city. I love Sarasota. I've been there several times, and we're so honored to be reopening the theater.
Yes. So why don't we just dive into it? Tell me a little bit
Sure.
about Funny Girl and what our audience can expect to see.
Yeah. So Funny Girl, many folks know and love the movie with Barbara Streisand. It was on Broadway before that. Originally, the role was originated by Barbara Streisand on Broadway in the 60s. And what's interesting is that it has never been revived until 2022 when we revived it on Broadway. So a lot of people know the songs, People, Don't Rain on My Parade, all those beautiful songs. But most people have not seen a full-scale, first-class production of Funny Girl. So this is really an event for a lot of folks who may know the movie or know the songs and love them. But it's the story of Fanny Brice, who was really one of the first female comedians at the beginning of the 20th century, and it tracks her humble beginnings in Brooklyn all the way through her rise to stardom in the Ziegfeld Follies. So it's full of amazing, big spectacle Ziegfeld Follies numbers, fantastic tap dancing, and of course a brilliant, amazing score by Julie Stein and Bob Merrill, played by a great big orchestra. So it really is a great big love letter to Broadway.
I love that you bring up the music because that's the thing that I immediately think of with
Mm.
Funny Girl is you just
Yeah.
know the iconic songs.
Mm.
Whether you've seen the movie, seen the musical, everyone just knows those great, great tunes.
Yeah.
Tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about
Yeah.
your role in the show.
Sure. So I play Nikki Arnstein, who is Fanny's paramour and eventual husband. He's a gambler and a con man. He's very suave, but he also has a really big heart and really loves Fanny and really strives to make their relationship work and support her as she becomes a star. And so in the first act, we see them sort of start getting together, falling in love. And the second act deals with their marriage, and it becomes a little tumultuous, not to give too much away at the end. But he's a great character. There's a lot of layers to him, really. He is, on one hand, he is a romantic, and he really loves Fanny. On the other hand, he's dealing with a lot of his own insecurities and issues throughout the show. So it really makes for that duality of him really makes for an interesting ride, I think.
Yeah, and you were with the show on Broadway understudying this role before you moved into it for
Mm-hmm.
the tour. What was it like going from that Broadway production to now being on tour and taking over the role?
Yeah, so it was really interesting. It sort of is the best case scenario for an understudy. I understudied the role in the Broadway production starting in 2022. And I was in the room, when they made a lot of the edits that they've made. Harvey Fierstein has updated the original book, so it's a little bit more fresh and a little bit more contemporary. And they also fleshed out the character of Nicolot and added some more songs for him and built up the relationship between him and Fanny a little bit more. So it was amazing to be in the room when all those changes were happening and sort of be part of those discussions. And then I actually got to take over the role on Broadway for a little while Ramin, who was playing the role, left to do a production of Phantom of the Opera. So I got to do the role on Broadway for 3 weeks opposite Leah Michelle and Julie Benko. So that was, as an understudy, that's really the dream. And now getting to do it full time on the tour, really just has been another spectacular opportunity. And especially, bringing this show all across the country and seeing how different audiences respond to it. And in some areas they're more into the love story, and in some cities they're really into the humor. And there's just really something for everybody. So it's just such a special opportunity to get to do this show that many people have a connection to, and get to do it for folks all over the country.
I love that. What's your favorite part about touring with this production?
I think, it's funny. Everybody who sees the show, most people who see the show, I rarely meet anyone who says, I never knew anything about Funny Girl. Most people have a connection to it. They'll say, like, my mom loved the movie. I've never seen it, but my mom loved it. Or my mom used to sing me the songs. Or, I watched the movie as a little kid. Or I've never seen it, but I listened to the recordings. And so I think it's really a matter. There's this moment in the show when Hannah Shankman, who plays Fanny, starts singing the song "People," and everybody knows that song, but they don't really know where it fits in the context of the show, and so it's sort of a surprise when they start hearing it, and you just hear this sort of sigh in the audience of people, experiencing this song that they know, but in the context of this love story, in the context of Fanny's story. And that's my favorite part about doing these old classic musicals is helping people to sort of see them in their full context and see them in a new way, that maybe that they haven't thought of before.
I love that. That's fantastic. What are you hoping that fans take away after they see this performance here in Sarasota?
So, it really is Fanny's story, this show, and it is a story about a woman who is told no over and over and over again, told that she doesn't have what it takes, told that she's not doesn't look right, um, to be in the Ziegfeld Follies, and then she becomes this enormous star, really on her own sheer force of will and her own belief in herself. And so I think that it's a really inspiring story about believing in yourself, about having the strength to stand up for yourself. And I think it's inspiring.
I think that is so true, and I cannot wait to see the show here on the Van Wezel stage. Before I let you go, what else would you like to share with our audience today?
I just say, if you are somebody who loves musicals, this really is a show about musicals and about performers. And as a performer, it's really special to get to share that with the audience. So I would just say, if you're maybe thinking about it, come see us. Again, fantastic tap dancing, a fantastic score. It really, I think this show has everything in one evening that you could ever want from a Broadway musical. So we are so pleased to share it with you. Come to Van Wezel and see us.
Yes, I cannot wait. And if you would like to see Stephen and the rest of the cast in Funny Girl, be sure to get your tickets at vanwezel.org. Funny Girl will be playing January 14th through the 19th.